can you do the pasta?
Okay.
Queen is coming to Manhattan to take her to, playground.
Okay.
See you soon. I listen to music. I want to listen to music. They know. I can't listen to music. It's so annoying.
The latest numbers from Texas Health and Human Services show 309.
Can't listen to music. So
And
annoying.
in neighboring New Mexico, also 42 people.
Turn left on 35th
Together, this
Avenue.
outbreak has surpassed last year's nationwide total, which was fewer than 300. The death toll, though, does remain at 2. New York City is missing the Canadians who vacation here. Noam Layden has more.
There are a lot of signs that some Canadian tourists are changing their plans to visit New York City and going elsewhere amid President Trump's trade war with Canada. Matt Levy tells WABC that his big Apple
In
tour
1.3 miles.
a big hit.
Turn left on 65th Street.
It's been calamitous. I grossed $35,000 from Canadian high school groups. This
Speed
year,
camera
5,000
ahead.
and dropping. I get 1 to a half dozen cancellations every week.
Canada's new Prime Minister Mark Carney has encouraged Canadians to travel within their own country now. Noam Layden, WABC News.
There's a new idea to help bring down grocery costs. Congressman Henry Cuellar wants the Trump administration to allow the import of eggs from Mexico.
We need to work with Mexico so we can get more eggs imported to the U.S. and we are.
He says if you go across the border from his South Texas district, it costs about $4 for a carton of 30 eggs. If imports are allowed, he says it would solve the domestic supply issue caused by the bird flu. But the plan comes at a time when relations with Mexico are strained. There is a 25% tariff on most goods. Your forecast from the 77 WABC Weather Center. Today it's going to be sunny with a high of 45 before the sun sets. Tonight and overnight, scattered light showers, low of 40. Tomorrow, rain continues, high of 54. Right now it's 43 and sunny outside our Midtown studios. I'm Liz Radabali. Remember, news never stops. WABCRadio.com.
WABC.
Here's a harsh fact. 40% of women and almost 20% of men suffer from varicose or spider veins, inability to stand or walk, neuropathy, even worse, blood clots, which can travel to other parts of your body. But here's the good news. Advanced Medical Vein Treatment Centers offers plans that treat and cure the condition, not just cover up. Grab your phone, take down this
They
number,
know,
and
they
call
know, they know.
809-7991. That's 800-809-7991. When you call, you'll get free information. Free information on how you can live your life to the fullest again. Walk, exercise, sleep well. Your vein problems will not go away on their own, and in time can lead to major health issues. Call Advanced Medical Vein today for free information on fast and easy solutions that are covered
They
by
know,
most
they
insurance
know,
plans.
they know.
Medicare included. Call 800-809-7991. That's 800-809-7991 today.
Let's take I-495 West Queens, Midtown Tunnel, Queens.
This is the Roger Stone Show, presented by Colonial Metals Group.
A man who's gone through
Speed
hell,
camera ahead.
but he's kept going and he's smart and he's strong and people love him. Not everybody, but people love him and respect him. Roger Stone.
Now, here's Roger Stone.
Welcome to the Roger Stone Show on the Red Apple Audio Networks. After 50 years in the corroded rectum of American politics, I guess I've seen it all. I've done it, I've written about it, I've analyzed it, I've talked about it, but lately I've been thinking about the meaning of life. Listen to Richard Dixon on this subject.
The unhappiest people of the world. Those
In 3/4 of a mile.
places.
Turn left on 65th Street.
Watering places like the South Coast of France and Newport, Palm Springs, and
so. Well, I know there are those who totally would disagree with this and say, gee, boy, if I could just be a millionaire, that would be the most
They
wonderful
know,
thing. If
they
I could
know,
just
they know.
not have to work. I could just
What's up,
be out
everybody?
fishing
What's
or
up?
hunting, play a
Queens
golf
to
or
Manhattan.
travel. That'd be the most wonderful life in the world.
33 minutes.
They don't know life. Because
Manhattan.
what makes life mean something?
Lambo Bridge.
Purpose, a goal, the battle, the struggle,
Right?
even if you don't win it.
So, after my near-death experience...
They know, they know, they know.
Collusion hoax, a frame job engineered by
what's up,
Andrew
everybody?
Weissman, perhaps the single most
Who is in the
corrupt
building?
federal prosecutor in American history. A frame job that was proven when the BuzzFeed sued the Department of Justice, and after
Happy
3 long
Sunday.
years of a legal fight, they finally released the long redacted, long hidden final report
Happy
of Robert Mueller,
Sunday.
and even which he could not sugarcoat, that he found no evidence of Russian collusion, WikiLeaks,
Like,
collaboration,
share,
or any other
subscribe.
crime
Like,
on my
share,
part.
subscribe.
A tidbit withheld from my defense attorneys by the judge at trial. Well, after my commutation by sentence and my full
Sally Scapio, my dear love. Sally Scapio, me love you long time.
media, my
Sally
children, my
Scapio.
grandchildren said, Dad,
What
maybe
is
it's
your
time to hang it
balance?
up. Maybe it's time
When you gonna go
to,
supermarket?
Now I was reminded of this
My
quote
dear
from
love,
Rose.
Sally Scapio, me love you long time. Long time.
But who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself
In
in a
1,000
worthy
feet,
cause,
turn left
who
on
at the best
65th
knows in
Street.
the end the
Great
triumph of
devotion.
high achievement, and who
They
at the
know,
worst,
they know,
if he
they know.
fails, at least fails while daring greatly. So that this place shall never be with those cold,
Go home and
timid
take my
souls
baby to the
who
playground,
know
right?
victory nor
Like,
defeat.
share, subscribe.
That is why I continue to be
Oh,
in
wow.
the arena, writing,
March 25.
talking,
Happy
about
birthday.
the events of the day, and
Happy
how I
birthday,
believe
my
Donald
dear
Trump is
love.
going to lead us
March
into a
25,
golden
Sally
age of
Scapio.
peace, prosperity, security, and justice. By the way, happy birthday to Barron Trump, who I calculated will be elected president in the year 2044. I think he is the Trump offspring with the president. I have a high regard for Don. He's a very effective advocate of his father and his policies. That Eric is a terrific businessman. I think that Tiffany is a brilliant attorney. She's the other Trump child that I think I could see going
They
into
know,
politics.
they know, they know.
And of course, Ivanka is a grand lady who's done great public works in the area of criminal justice reform. But Barron Trump is the one to keep an eye on. I believe he is the one who figured out the strategy of taking his father's message to alternative media.
They know, they know, they know.
Millions and millions of new people to Trump America first.
Turn left on
And
65th Street.
he is correcting a lot of the
Yep.
disinformation
Yep, yep,
about
yep.
Donald Trump and what he stood for. Donald Trump
Delivery.
and his actual record.
Uber
I
Eats,
also
all that
Turn
crap
left
out.
on Broadway, then turn right.
at the White House to visit with President Donald Trump.
They know,
Turn
they
left on
know,
Broadway,
they know.
then use the right lane to turn right on 69th Street.
I've appeared on Bill Maher's show. In fact, I did his
Delivery.
private show for Politically Incorrect. Taped it in New York as a favor
Use the right lane to turn right on 69th Street.
a
Then
speechwriter
use the
for
left 2
President
lanes to
Nixon.
stay to the left,
Later,
I-278
a
west
television
What
producer.
up?
Queens Expressway,
and,
Brooklyn towards
Bill
Staten
Maher-
Island.
Ah. מה קורה? שבוע טוב. איפה אתה? שבוע טוב, שבוע טוב. איפה אתה?
מה טוב, מה קורה, מה קורה?
איפה אתה? בשירותים של סטורג'?
לא, הלכתי להוריד את החבילה אצלך.
כן, עשית סתימה שם.
הלכתי להוריד את החמין אצלך.
וואי, התקשרו אליי, או מגיע אליך איזה מישהו, לא מכירים וזה.
כן, איזה חדש אחד שם, לא מכיר.
כן. כן.
Use the left two lanes to stay to the left.
ההיא,
Then use
רוז,
the right lane to turn
שהייתה
right
שם
to
רוז,
I-278
הספנישית,
west,
בחופשת
Brooklyn
לידה.
Queens Expressway,
הייתה שם
Brooklyn to
ספרדיה
Staten
אחת
Island.
בחופשת לידה,
Use
רוז.
the right lane to turn right to I-278 west, Brooklyn Queens
כן, די, זה
Expressway,
עובדת.
Brooklyn towards Staten
אני
Island.
חושב שהיא בחופשת לידה.
כן, זה קטעים.
כן, אני באסטוריה עכשיו.
אתה באסטוריה?
כן.
אני ב-23 וב-22 בפרקה במסעד.
כן. לאן פניך מועדות?
38.
אתה הולך למשרד?
יש שם
1.6
בית
miles.
ספר, יש שם
Take
בית
exit
ספר כזה
35,
לילדים.
I-495, Long Island
אתה
Expressway,
לוקח את הילד שלה לגן?
Eastern Long Island, Green Point
חוגים
Avenue.
שם.
היא תגיד, צריכה לשלם לך על כל הבייביסיטר הזה. $20 לשעה.
התלבשה יפה וזה. איזה קטעים צחוק כזה של ההורים.
אספה של ההורים.
ולבשה מגפיים כאלה עם עקבים, פתאום את מה אמרת לי? עשו אותי נראה יותר מדי נמוך.
קטעים.
אבל כן, את יותר גבוהה ממני ואת עושה מעקבים, אז מה את רוצה? והייתי מתקבצתי במשך הלילה.
זה קטעים.
הייתי shrink overnight. איזה קטעים, ואומרת את זה ליד כל האימהות, ליד כל האנשים וזה, אמרת לה, טוב, אני יוצא בחוץ.
אתה לא... אל תחשבן, מה לא חשבן? אל תחשבן לאנשים אחרים שתגיד מה שהיא רוצה.
אני אומר, טוב, you don't have to say it loud. He said, no, I see you drink overnight. אמר לו, יודע שאתה תובסת high heel this way, this food with high heel this way.
תגיד לה, תודיעי לי שאת לובשת היל, שאתה גם תלבש נעליים גבוהות. כמו פרינס גם נעלי העקב הגבוהים, להביא לו קצת גובה. כן, נעליים מצחיקות. מוכרים נעליים כאלה, תבדוק באמזון. אולי מוכרים נעליים כאלה.
In half a mile, use the right lane to exit right. Then stay to the left.
עשה לך בידור. עשה לך בידור לפחות.
Hazard reported ahead.
אובר אחי.
Exit right to exit 35, I-495, Long Island Expressway toward Midtown Tunnel, Eastern Long Island, Greenpoint Avenue. Then use the left lane to stay to the left
תסתכל
to
על
exit
האימהות, שהיא לא...
35W, I-495 west
שלא
toward
תתקוף
Midtown
אותך.
Tunnel, Manhattan.
אל תסתכל על האימהות שהיא לא תתקוף אותך.
כמו בזה, יום חמישי הולכים לבית מרקחת, הייתה בחורה עם איזה תחת יפה כזה צר, צמוד, עשה מכנסי סטרץ' והיה לה פס כזה, שמחלק את התחת לשניים. אז היא אומרת לי, אלי, תראה איזה תחת יפה, יש לה ממש מושלם, עם הפס באמצע וזה. אז אני מסתכל, דווקא לי מכה בראש, אמרתי לך, למה אתה מסתכל? מה, אתה לא מתבייש? אתה בן אדם דתי, אתה מסתכל על תחת של אנשים אחרים. אמרת לה, מה אתה אמרת להסתכל? אז היא אומרת לה, אתה לא צריך להקשיב למה שאני אומרת כל פעם.
Use the left lane to stay to the left to Greenpoint Avenue.
ההיא שמעה את הוויכוחים, הבחורה.
In 300
בחורה עם
feet,
התחת היפה
turn
שמעה את
left on Greenpoint
הוויכוחים.
Avenue. Then stay to the right.
איזה קטעים אתה שומעת.
היא עושה לה, you like my ass, אז היא אומרת לה, Your heart is amazing. I wish I have heart like you.
זה קטעים.
גמרת בקול והבחורה זורמת. I don't like it. איזה כיף.
מאי, הייתה לבנה, ספרדיה, שחורה.
סרטינית, כוסית. עושה גבוהה. פתאום היא אומרת, don't try to grab her ass.
איי.
את לא רוצה לנתף את התחת, אני אומר, לא מנסה לו כלום.
Turn left on Greenpoint Avenue. Then stay to the right to Borden Avenue.
הבחורה זורמת, היא תעשה לה what you like to.
היית הולך, מביא לה איזה לטיפה. אתה שואל אותם, אתה מביא להם איזה פינת ליטוף, תגיד לה, אפשר לעשות פינת ליטוף, כמו חיות מחמד.
הבחורה זורמת, קולטת פסיקית, היא עושה לי what you like to.
In 900 feet, turn left on Van Dam Street.
איזה קטע עוד בחורה להגיד להם, אפשר ללטף לה את ההסבנים כמו פינת ליטוף של החיות מחמד.
כן, היום אתה אומר לבחורה, ביוטיפול, מזמינה לך משטרה.
כן, פינת ליטוף, 10 ניידות באו ילטפו לך את הראש באבו כביר.
כן. כשהלכתי משם, כל האמהות צועקת וזה.
Turn left on Van Dam Street. Then turn left to I-495
אני אקח
west
אותה
of Midtown
הביתה.
Tunnel.
תמיד תתלבש יפה בוויקנד לפחות.
היא בעצמה לא מתלבשת אף פעם יפה, רק היום להתלבשה יפה.
לא יודע, עשה לך מנהג.
Turn left on 48
כל השבוע אתה שתרמח, בוויקנד תלבש יפה. שבת, ראשון. זה מה שהיה עושה סעדיה העגלון בכרם התימנים. כל השבוע חסר בית, מגעיל וזה, בוויקנד היה לובש חליפות.
In 500 feet, turn left on 47th Avenue. Then turn left.
שמה בגללה
Turn
קצת
left
לחץ.
on 47th Avenue.
אני אומר לה,
Then turn left on 31st Place.
כן, אכלנו. איך, ילך לזזו, זזו.
לא, הלכנו למסעדה בתקווית של הבוכרי ושמה סטייקים וזה. כל פעם שהלכת לשם אנחנו אוכלים כזה דעה. עכשיו היא אומרת, ישבנו שם, אמרתי, לא, אני הולך לך.
לא אכלתם. לך לחומוס על קוק, היה לך פלאפל.
כן, הזכרתי, חמוס של קוק. חמוס של קוק, שזה 14 סטייק.
לא, 17 והשישית.
כן. צריך לקחת את ניקח את האוטובוס לשם, שם ייקח את הרכבת. אני ב-23, 22.
לך ברגל.
לא, מה הבעיה, אני אקח את זה.
הוא צריך קורקינט חשמלי. קורקינט חשמלי קטן.
כן. איך הוא קורקינט חשמלי? איך אני אקח אותה בקורקינט?
קטן מתקפל, אתה יכול לנעול אותו בחוץ. יש כאלה שאולי יש בטריה נשלפת, ואז יכול להטעין.
אסור להטעין קורקינטים במלון.
אני אומר לך, סוללה נטענת.
אסור להכניס סוללות, דברים כאלה, להטעין במלון. אתה מבין, אסור.
מאיפה עדיין?
מה?
בודקים.
הם בודקים, כל פעם שאתה נכנס למלון, הם בודקים אותך. שומרים.
בודקים בתיקים.
כן, בודקים בתיקים. יש גם מגנומטר. אתה יודע מה זה מגנומטר?
מכשיר לבדיקת נשק.
זה שבודק כזה את הגוף, את החפצים. ככה זה. לא מרשים לך. היו כאלה שהתחילו תעשה את איפה זה? 14, כתב מחנה. אבל אתה בא אצלך המשרד הכי טוב שם. לא מגבילים אותך.
יש לך עבודות לעשות, תאכל משהו, תלך למשרד שלך. תאכל משהו, תלך למשרד.
אני סטריליתי מכנסיים קצר גבוהה וכל החריץ שלה בכוס באמצע יש לה פס.
מקטעים. ככה זה הסיניות, היפניות, מנסות להשתלב. מנסות להשתלב בחברה.
היא אומרת לי, אתה יודע למה לסיניות תחת נופל? נופל כזה?
כן.
היא אומרת לי בשביל...
למה?
כל האוכל שלה זה GMO. אתה יודע מה זה GMO?
זה שאוכלות אורס כל הזמן.
לא, זה האוכל שלה מהונדס.
אוכל
זה
מהונדס.
נטליק. GMO, האוכל שלה מהונדס, לא באוכל שלה, מעופות והזה. אתה מבין?
גם כל האוכל זה של הפאסט פוד, כמו מקדונלד. גם כל האוכל של הפאסט פוד מהונדס.
כן.
איך תדע, אולי זה לא עוף אמיתי בכלל, זה לא בשר אמיתי, הכל כזה...
כן, הכל מהונדס.
הכל חומרים שונים, חומרי גלם.
כן. אז אחד עובד מתחת לבחור וקם לתמונה.
קצת קר, אבל יום שמש היום.
אין בקר, הלכנו הרבה, זה חום. טעינו בתחנה בקווינס, הלכנו למרפאה בקווינס, ואיך קוראים לו? וזה. אז אני אומר, טוב, בואי נחזור, ניקח את הסוף ונלך תחנה אחת אחורה. עכשיו בקווינס, תחנה אחת זה לא כמה בלוקים, כמו פה, זה הרבה בלוקים.
כן.
תחנה אחת. והיא אומרת לי את זה, אני אומר לה, טוב, מה, תחנה אחת תלך ברגל, נלך כדי לנסוע ברכבת לתחנה אחת. אבל כל זאת לקוויז זה הרבה ללכת, אז לא שאתה במילא שמן, תלך ברגל.
וחכה לך קורקינט חשמלי קטן, תקפל. לך קורקינט חשמלי קטן, קפל אותו. כל מקום תלך ברגל, תלך בקורקינט. נמצא מקומות להטעין אותו, לא בעיה. כמו שאתה מטעין טלפון, מקומות ציבוריים. לא עולה הרבה, 200-300 דולר. אחלה קורקינט, אולי יקנה לך משומש גם. לא, אני אומר, אתה תקנה לך.
כן. אני יכול לטעין אותו,
תטעין אותו בסטארבק, כל מיני מקומות כאלה.
אין, אתה לא יכול לטעין דברים כאלה.
רגע, את אופניים השתלטו על 59 סטריט. יש היום אופניים? היום יש יום האופניים או משהו כזה? בקיץ אולי נזכיר אופניים אותה, אני רוצה להשאיר אותו ריק בחוץ, אני רוצה לסגור את הסטורג', סתם $200 בחודש.
עשיתי הזמנה. אל תקטע עין. אתה מבין, אני ראיתי סתם משאיות מעמיסים הרבה אופניים מקולקלות ו...
לא, זה לא מקולקלות, אתה לא מבין. מה שקורה, נגיד בבוקר אנשים לוקחים אופניים משכונות מגורים לאזור של המשרדים. אז נהיה מצב כזה, אזורים של משרדים בבוקר יש הרבה אופניים עוד. אז הם לוקחים מעבירים, אתה יודע, היצע הביקוש, הם מעבירים כל פעם מקום למקום. אתה מבין? זה מה שקורה. אז הם לוקחים, הולכים, ואחר כך...
יש שם מאות אופניים. הלכתי, ראיתי את אותי מזכיר פרטי, לא של העירייה, ליד ה-57, זה פארק אבניו. מלא אופניים יש לו בתוך החנות.
אוקיי, לפעמים באים גרופ של תיירים, 10-20 אנשים. זה עסק טוב, אבל צריך...
עזוב אותך, זה עסק טוב, יש לך לוגיסטיקה, זה בעניינים של מיליונים.
תגיד,
תתרחק מדברים כאלה, זה רק אתה תפסיד כספים. זה גדול, מה אתה אומר? אתה מסע לאלה של הסיבי. שעבר קצת כמה את המודעות שלו. אתה יודע כמה כסף הוא משלם לסיבי רק להשיג את הבנק?
אתה יודע מי הבעלים של אופניים של הסיטי? זה עכשיו ליפט, ליפט, האובר, ליפט.
חברות גדולות של מיליונים, מה אתה חושב? בגלל שיש לנו עירה תחת להשכרות כאלה.
ליפט קנו את זה.
או שפעי נגד נדבר, אף לא עכשיו. Thank you.
That's incredible. Download all the podcasts right now through your favorite podcast.
שבוע טוב, לך תאכל לך משהו, נדבר. שבוע טוב, תאכל לך משהו, להתראות.
Success in their effort to improve public safety. Commissioner Jessica Tisch was on the CATS roundtable where she read off some numbers.
The men and women of the New York City Police Department are out there. They are working hard. Over the past 3 months, they've delivered double-digit decreases in major crime in all 5 boroughs across the city. And it's truly a remarkable work product that they're delivering for New Yorkers.
Tisch says officers are working to address important quality of life issues.
One thing to drive down crime numbers, it's quite another to address the feeling of chaos and disorder on our streets. And that falls into the bucket of quality of life. So at the police department, we are working right now on a major overhaul that will have the police in every precinct in the city as well as underground be more systematic about how we address quality of life issues. Like, for example, abandoned vehicles or out of control scooters or e-bikes. Those types of things that people don't want to see or experience when they're on the streets, when they are walking out of their homes, when they're bringing their kids to school. So what New Yorkers are going to see over the next several months is a massive reorganization of the NYPD to get us focused more on addressing those types of issues that New Yorkers tell us that they want addressed. So what we are going to do in each precinct is set up what we're calling Q teams. Those are teams of cops on every shift whose job it is to address quality of life issues in New York City.
You can listen to the CATS Roundtable Sunday mornings from 8 to 10 a.m. or listen to the show anytime as a podcast on the WABC radio app. I'm Liz Radavali for 77 WABC News.
Stone Show, presented by Colonial Metal Group.
A man who's gone through hell, but he's kept going and he's smart and he's strong and people love him. Not everybody, but people love him and respect him. Roger Stone.
Now, here's Roger Stone.
Trump in 2017 to release all of the classified documents in the possession of the federal government pertaining to the Kennedy assassination. I obviously greeted his announcement that he would keep his campaign pledge and make all of that information public with great fanfare. I was very pleased, but now having seen a number of the documents that have been released, and with the knowledge that 3,500 records are yet to be released from the official JFK assassination document collection, I, along with others, began to wonder whether we're seeing everything. Several weeks ago, I participated in a great Zoom call with a number of JFK people, all of whom I've had respect for, but one particularly, Larry Knapp, stood out as someone who really thought through how to collect and ensure that we had all the documents. He showed me a very thoughtful letter signed by my friend Congressman Tim Burchett and others to the president, essentially urging him to broaden out his order to ensure that we saw everything. Larry Knapp is an attorney in New York. He has sued the Biden administration and the National Archives several times. He has commanding knowledge of documents and
Central Delivery.
The role that you have played to get us to this historic moment where we're at. I mean, without your help, we would not be right here.
Welcome.
The reason we're coming on also is we need your help to get us across the finish line. We're at third base right now. And I want to commend President Trump for listening to you and getting us to where we are. We're not quite sure exactly how many records. One of the frustrating things is we're not really quite sure how many records there are in the collection because we get different numbers. The archives have mentioned 3,500, also 3,648. The transparency plans that were approved by President
Welcome
those are the plans that the
welcome back.
For when they would
Welcome back.
For possible disclosure, they have 4455. But what we know is that there are 319,000 entries in the collection. That's NARA's number on the website, but that's not complete. There's 1,000 records that we know were supposedly released in 2017 to 2023, which are not in that number. And the central directory of the records that NARA has does not include records from the National Security Agency, that's Series 144, National Security Council, Series 145, the Secret Service, Series 154.
Welcome back.
Series 194. So we know that the collection as it exists right now, the JFK collection, I'm going to call that the collection. Even if all those records were released, we are not admission because we know there are records that are outside of the collection that are not in the collection that, and I'll go into more detail in a moment about what those records are. But I was wondering, I would like to take 5 minutes to let your listeners know how we got to where we are. And it started with the Warren Commission. Earl Warren, when the Warren Commission materials were turned over to the General Services Administration, which at that point, that's the predecessor to the National Archives.
Welcome back.
That the only things that could be available were the report and the exhibit. Everything else was supposed to be subject to the then existing presidential executive order about national security. And the issue is that, as we learned in 1975, we'll say in a minute, the Warren Commission was
Welcome back.
Unlike the Rockefeller Commission, when President Ford created the Rockefeller Commission, he expressly said in his executive order that they have the power to classify records. The Warren Commission was never given that ability to classify records. So from the get-go, they violated their charter and also the law by classifying records. And then when a mayor from Cedar Rapids, Mayor Johnson, found out that at that point in time, in those days, records would be hidden for 75 years. He was flabbergasted in 1965 that 75 years would be applied to the Kennedy records. So the Department of Justice came up with some guidelines in the mid-60s for releasing records, but nothing was done during that period of time. And then in 1972, President Nixon shortened the period of time, and he did a new executive order, shortening it from 75 to 30.
Well, Bella Atwood had a committee hearing in 1975 November about how the FOIA law was not helping release the records in the Kennedy assassination. One of her speakers was David Bellin, and he admitted that the Warren Commission did not have the authority to classify records. And in fact, he said,
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back.
Security, so that we could not be looking at secured records to begin with. So what happened then also was then the House Book Assassinations Committee has their study, and the House had rules that their unpublished information would be classified for 30 years. So we have all these records that are being withheld, and then the Oliver Stone movie code, Congress passes the JFK Records Act to basically do two things. One is to order the agencies to scour their records for JFK assassination records because they were spread throughout the government. And then they were supposed to be turned over to the National Archives and disclosed unless the agencies requested postponement. At that point in time, the Record Review Board was supposed to review these postponements. And if the agencies objected to a decision to disclose, they could appeal to the president. And the Record Review Board operated from 95 to 98. And at the end of 98, they went out of business, not because the job was done, but because Congress stopped funding them. And when they went out of business in 98, they had outstanding search requests to the CIA. They were trying to get records from the Robert Kennedy Family Trust. They had held records that Bobby Kennedy took an hour after the assassination, but records from the Oval Office and kept them. We don't know what those records were. They were trying to get those records. There were records from Walter Sheridan, Bobby's right-hand man, who did his own investigation for Bobby.
Get a big
Those records. He took those records and transferred them to NBC for disclosure in 2017, October 26th. President Trump announced on the 24th he's going to release the records. And then at the last minute, they get postponed. So, I filed a lawsuit against the National Archives to get all the underlying correspondence, and what I found out was the National Archives actually issued memos to the CIA and the FBI saying that their grounds for postponement did not comply with the law and did not comply with the interpretations of the review board. They get overruled.
New York.
And the records were postponed twice. And then President Biden, again, did the same thing. They didn't use the criteria under the statute. And they came up with these transparency plans that would, again, not necessarily automatically release the documents, but provide for periods in the future when they could be reviewed. Now, when Congress passed the JFK Act, at that point in time, the records would have been released in 2029. The transparency plans, which are transparency plan is an Orwellian term. It uses non-statutory criteria, and the transparency plans, the earliest review period would be the mid-2040s. In other words, transparency plans that the President Biden approved actually provide for a longer period of time than the original classification that was the reason that Congress passed the law in the first place.
When we come back, we're going to get into what you think is missing. I'll tell you what I think is missing. Some of it's kind of obvious. Where's the conversation between CIA Director John McCone and Lyndon Johnson immediately after? There's no transcript of it. There's no tape of it. That's one of the many things I want to talk about on the other side. Thank you for setting the table and explaining to people how we got to where we are today. We'll be right back with more of lawyer Larry Stepp and what is missing from these JFK assassination documents and their release by the administration. Whatever you do, don't touch that dial.
Now, it's time for Protecting Your Future, sponsored by Colonial Metals Group. Here's Roger Stone.
In these economically turbulent times, with the Federal Reserve insisting they answer to no one and printing money like there's no tomorrow, with national debt in the trillions and unsustainable, with at least 90 lawsuits trying to make it impossible for Elon Musk and his Doge to ferret out not millions, not billions, but billions in wasteful federal spending. Now is the time to protect your future from the slavery can reach them at colonialmetalsgroup.com/stone or go to freegoldguide.com today. They will tell you all about it and why you should act immediately to protect your future.
This is the Roger Stone Show.
Roger Stone here with an urgent retirement warning. Even as Trump stands up to China, billionaires are fleeing Wall Street. But I trust the experts at Colonial Metals Group to help you. Visit freegoldguide.com/stone or call 800-747-6589 for your free gold guide on how you can bulletproof your IRA and 401k with gold's tax-free. You can also qualify for a free home safe that as much as $7,500 in free silver. So once again, that's freegoldguide.com/stone.
Hey, it's Joe Piscopo. Picture this. You're sinking into your favorite chair, eyes closed, your turntable playing and creating your private sanctuary away from the chaos. When I spell audio, I spell it VERDANT. That's Verdant Audio. Their experts help you select the perfect gear turntable, headphones, digital streamers, and more. Verdant Audio will build the ideal system for you. No intimidation, just passionate people who love extraordinary sound. Transform your listening experience. Visit verdantaudio.com. Book your consultation today. Working year-round. Go to toysfortots.org. Toys for Tots supports children in need throughout the year with programs like the Toys for Tots Literacy Program. Established in 2008, has provided over 60 million books to disadvantaged children. The Toys for Tots Literacy Program is committed to providing disadvantaged children with direct access to books and educational resources that enhance their ability to read and communicate effectively. Go to toysfortots.org.
I love My Patriot Cigar Company. Premium hand-rolled cigars blended by some of the best master blenders in the industry, using the finest aged tobacco from Nicaragua. Satisfy any palate. Get the Patriot Cigar 5-cigar sampler pack free when you spend $100 or more using promo code STONE. 5 free cigars on orders over $100 with free shipping. MyPatriotCigars.com. Promo code STONE. MyPatriotCigars.com. In premium smoke for freedom life.
Your body. But here, call 800-809-7991. That's 800-809-7991. When you call, you'll get free information. Free information on how you can live your life that can lead to major health issues.
Delivery.
Medicare included. Call 800-809-7991. That's 800-809-7991 today.
This is 77 WABC Newsroom Extra.
The MTA is rolling out some new changes at a station in Lower Manhattan. The busy West 4th Street stop no longer has any benches for riders waiting on the platform. They've been replaced with leaning bars, and New Yorkers have mixed reactions.
I feel like it's kind of pointless. I mean, people need to sit. I don't like them.
City Transit President Demetrius Critchlow says this is part of an effort to improve conditions down in the tunnels.
I think piloting things like this is what we should be doing to show that we're looking forward and providing the best service that we can for customers.
Down on homeless people setting up camp on benches. Riders say the city should find another way to deal with that issue.
We're paying for the service to be under here. Sometimes there are delays, and you can't even sit down. There's a lot of people who can't stand for a long period of time.
The MTA also says the bars are cheaper than the benches. I'm Liz Radabali for 77 WABC News.
Nixon, Ronald Reagan, George W. Bush, and Donald Trump.
They went after a guy named Roger Stone who's sitting in the office. And I'll say this to Joe Roger, he's no baby. And right now he's cleaner than anybody in this place. No, they treated him very unfairly.
All of these presidents relied on one man to secure their seat in the Oval Office. That man is Roger Stone.
Roger Stone.
This is the Roger Stone Show, presented by Colonial Metals Group. Now, here's Roger Stone.
And we're back. We're talking to Larry Schnapp, an attorney who has sued the National Archives and the Biden administration and is convinced, as I am, that what we have so far is a woefully incomplete record regarding records that pertain to the Kennedy assassination. One thing that occurs to me, Larry, is where is the Nix film? This is the film by Orville Nix, a witness to the assassination of President Kennedy. who was filming with an 8mm camera on the opposite side of Dealey Plaza from the more famous Abraham Zapruder, who was filming from the opposite angle. It also captured the presidential motorcade, including the moment of the fatal shot to Kennedy's head in the Grassley Knoll. But Nix, who was an air conditioning engineer, now passed away, used a Keystone Auto Zoom camera to document the event, starting as the limousine turned onto Houston Street and moving to capture the shooting on Elm Street. Where, for example, is that film, Larry?
Well, it's interesting. His granddaughter, I think it is, filed a lawsuit recently, and in the lawsuit, the government admits that they actually had possession of it at some point. And they don't know what happened to it. It was, I guess it was sent out to get analyzed, and it either never came back or it got lost when it came back. There are two other important films that NBC is holding, the Darnell film and the Wegman film, which are potentially exculpatory for Oswald, because some people think that those films could show Oswald on the steps of the depository building, not on the 6th floor, but NBC has refused to turn them over. One of the things I'm going to be doing is making a recommendation to Representative Luna that she issue subpoenas to the NBC executives for both these two films and for the Walter Sheridan files. They want to get their sale approved for Comcast, and I think that maybe Commissioner Carr could use this as an opportunity and for the public interest to force NBC to release these things. You were on the break, as we broke away, you mentioned something really interesting about this McCone. I was talking to David Kaiser this morning about this very matter.
Care anymore. Well, I don't care anymore. I don't care anymore or don't care anymore. I don't care anymore. Don't